HBCU Game Day, and we are here with the head coach of the Edward Waters University Tigers, who pulled a big upset in Duval at the inaugural Unity Classic. It was a great weekend. The game was the cap to the weekend, but what a great weekend it was in Jacksonville. Before we talk about the game, Coach, just talk about things like the luncheon and the community efforts that Edward Waters did to reach out to the community this weekend.
Oh man, first class, tremendously enjoyable time. Got a chance to meet and greet some people from the community that I normally don't get a chance to shake hands with or rub shoulders with. So it was really good. First class event. Got a chance to even talk to Coach Barker a little bit. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had an opportunity as HBCU Game Day was one of the sponsors of the Unity Classic, and I had a chance to host that. And to be sitting by two great football coaching minds was just an honor for me. And, everything went great. Luncheon, the president's reception, and then we got to Saturday to what I feel was one of the biggest games in HBCU football, period, no matter the division. The showdown with Virginia Union and Coach Ted Parker, Edward Waters with Coach Brian Jenkins, two teams that really, really went after it. Just talk about how excited you were, going into the game.
Right. Well, I was excited to have a chance to measure up against Virginia Union. They're one of the top teams at this level, and Coach documented. I stood at the bench. I not the bench, but the bench. It was like looking in the mirror, facing myself. Facing the guy who's pretty stern. He's a disciplinarian. He's a perfectionist. It was crazy. It was crazy for me. It was a crazy situation. Like I say, I studied every coach that I faced, and everything I came away with, it was like facing myself. But I was excited to put my team up against his, and I tell you what, it turned out to be a barn burner.
And one more thing before we actually get into talking about the play, we got to send a big shout out to Reverend Dr. R.B. Holmes, Edward Waters trustee. He had the vision to make this game happen. And if you think about it, there's not a whole bunch of other scenarios where we would have Edward Waters facing Virginia Union. So big props to him, because it turned out to be, as we said, a tremendous opportunity, tremendous enjoyment for everybody who watched it on the stadium, on ESPN Plus. Just a great vision that came true on the campus of Edward Waters University.
He did a phenomenal job putting it together, and like I said, it was a first class event. For it being the first time, it had a lot of great upside, and you could see the continued growth that could happen to make it an even bigger venue next year and years to come. So I'm really looking forward to it next year.
Well, Coach, then we had the kickoff. I could just see, the luncheon was good, but at some point I could see the body language of Coach Parker and you, like, man, I'm ready to kick this ball off. I love to talk it, but I'm ready to kick it off. And then it happened. Just talk about, getting your team prepared for that big day, and then you going out and actually kicking it off.
Well, the number one thing that we do here is, we keep every game the same, and we approach every game the same, and that's with respect. And, I always say that because the one thing that how I teach our guys is we're just playing an opponent. Who shows up, that's on them. But all we know, we got an opponent on this day at this time. And that's what we prepared for. Now, we knew Virginia Union had a championship pedigree. They're a proven team. So, but we just stuck to our guns, prepared like we always prepare. And when the ball was kicked off, then the excitement began.
You and I had joked about Curtis Allen. And he showed up Saturday, and he is still a piece to bring down. There are a lot of great players, and we'll get into that. But one of the things that was the absolute key was to try to slow that young man down. And I would just say we managed him. He was managed for the game, but just talk about preparing for a great set of athletes from Virginia.
Well, the number one thing we wanted to do is box them in. We knew he was going to be a force. I mean, because that's the level of player he is, and we just wanted to box him in. And we wanted to make sure we were gap sound and everything on that end. We knew he was going to give a great effort. But we didn't want to give him second and third chances to give an effort. So we just wanted to box him in and make sure that we could take the big plays away from him. We knew he was going to get what he normally gets in a sense because he's that type of player. But we just wanted to box him in and limit his chances at second and third efforts.
Noah Bodden had an amazing game, 298 yards passing, leading the Edward Waters offense along with the office coordinator, Coach Dooley. How important was it for each and every one of those yards to actually happen to make this game come out in favor of Edward Waters?
Right. Well, when watching film, we felt like that we had the upper level on passing the ball up the field. So we really had to put a plan of attack together to where we could attack them on all levels and give Noah some opportunities to pick who was open and deliver the ball. And I tell you what, all of us, me, Coach Dooley, Coach Ernest, we all got together on that game plan and put a good passing scheme together. And yeah, I mean, I got a veteran play calling Tuesday. So he knew how to play build and play progression and stuff like that. So he did an exceptional job, and Noah just followed the plan. He played within himself. He let his weapons around him make plays for him, and we just wanted to create the opportunities for him to be able to have to just deliver the ball.
Defensively, with the score, people would generally say, well, the defenses didn't do that good. But trust me, if the defense didn't do as good as they did, the score would have been tremendously worse. Just talk about your standout defensive players, Coach.
Our defense did pretty good. Brown had another exceptional game as well as French. They did some really good things. And then our guys in the secondary, they held up. They gave up a play or two here or there, which that happens when you face a high caliber championship team such as Virginia Union. But once again, our defense was scrappy and resilient, and they swarmed and ran to the football. They bent sometimes but didn't break. They made it difficult and hard for the offense to move the ball. So they did exactly what we asked. Do we have some areas of improvement? Absolutely. But as far as yesterday, they did well enough for us to win.
Coach, football is three phases, and everybody always forgets that third phase. Everybody forgets that third phase, and I'm offended by it because that's what gave me an opportunity to play college football. I was, good all around and thought it was this great tight end or whatever. But when I got to college, they we need you to long snap. And then at some point they said, we need you to step back there and punt. So, that you put the ego to the side and get back there and do what you can for your team. And Ryan Gagney with a dagger, down the stretch. So that third phase with the kickers came into play. Just talk about, his resolve and his performance.
Well, we take special teams here very seriously, and that's why I hired Coach Ernest Wilson. And he's come in and put a system together, special teams wise, that has allowed it to be a force on our football team. And I tell you what, working with Ryan every day in the kicking game has been phenomenal. The young man takes it very serious and he's very prideful at the results that he's able to produce. So I couldn't be happier with him. He does everything we ask him to do, and he works at it, daily in practice. So the end result can only be expected to be successful. So he's really done a good job. And when you got a guy like Coach Ernest Wilson working with him every day, I mean, you know what they expect.
Now, Coach, one thing that I know, as I noticed you during the game, that you were not very happy with, 23 penalties for 235 yards. Now, I have to agree with you. I agree with you a lot that so you got to let the guys play. Not only were those 23 called, 17 were called. So you're talking about 40 penalties being played in a game. At some point, you have to let the kids play.
Yeah, all I'm going to say on that is I've coached for over 30 plus years. I've never been involved in a game where there's 40 penalties. I'm a disciplinarian, and I'm pretty strict when it comes to the way my guys play, and I coach with detail and demand detail. Coach Parker is an extremely disciplinarian, just like myself. He coaches with detail, and it's just far fetched for me to believe that both of our teams played that undisciplined in the contest. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
These two teams combined for 40 penalties for 400 yards. It's one of those head scratchers, and we don't want to go any further into that. We're gonna just put a pin on that and keep it moving. But, Coach, you turn right back around, and you've got another challenge. Football, it's you celebrate for a little while, then you turn around and get ready, focus for next week, and next week you'll be going back to a place that you kind of know about your keys. Probably still work over there, Bethune-Cookman University. Get to go back to play at Municipal Stadium, and unlike probably in the past, this game will probably be more close than many people might have been expecting at the beginning of the year. But looking how the season has played out thus far, people are looking for a dogfight at Municipal Stadium.
Right. Well, I mean, if they're looking for a dogfight, then I mean we're going to be ready, And but we're treating this game the same as we treat every other game, and we're preparing for the same. And like I said, that's what we respect of the opponent. So we're not making a big deal out of it. It's a football game. We know we have an opponent to play, and just so happened it's Bethune-Cookman. So it's no specialness to it for me or for my team. Number one thing is just continue to prepare 2 and 3 contests and go into the contest ready to operate off of our trained behavior. So we're looking forward to it, just like we look forward to every game on Saturday. And right now for us, we're just going to go back to what we know, and that's preparing for the next opponent. Doesn't matter who that opponent is.
And also, Coach, just taking a look around the SIAC, Albany State, who was picked to win the SIAC, had a great performance against Florida A&M, FCS school like you're going to face this week. Isaiah Knowles was amazing. They came out and hit the Rattlers in the mouth. I mean, it was silent in Bragg Stadium for a while, but then the Rattlers were able to get things together, got their quarterback under control, and started doing much better in the second half. But the point is this: the SIAC is quite a tough conference right now, and Albany State picked to win it, and Edward Waters wasn't really in the mix, but now because of the way that you and your coaching staff have developed you and your players and the way the players have gone out and executed, there's kind of a different narrative now. So just talk about the SIAC in general.
Well, the SIAC is a good conference. And if you look at it, got a lot of top tier coaches. I mean, Coach Quinn Gray over at Albany, top tier coach, coaching is in his blood. I played for his father in high school. I kind of helped raise Quinn a little bit, but he turned into a tremendous coach, and he has his team on fire. And I was rooting for him, yesterday, and I thought he was going to get the job done, but he didn't. But that still speaks volumes about his level of coaching and being able to take his team in there and play at the level that they did against a team like FAM. You just don't walk on the field and line up and play FAM and have the success that he had, part of the game. So that speaks volumes about him. And then there's many other coaches. You got Teddy, Fat Man Keaton over at Clark. That's doing a good job over there. And he has the vet on defense as his defensive coordinator, LC Cole. Once again, they played good early in the year against Valdosta, did some really good things, and then you got many other teams, in the conference that's giving good showing. So I think that's strictly due to the top tier coaches that they have here in this conference, and you can't sleep on any team. You look at Kentucky State yesterday, took Grambling State to the wire, had an unfortunate play at the end of the game in overtime and lost the game. But they gave Mickey Joseph everything that he can handle. Once again, good coaching job. So when you look at the phenomenal coaches we have in this conference, the only expectation is that you're going to have a high level of football being played.
Coach, you said something to me at the luncheon the other day, and I don't even know if we were on stage yet. And I just said, it looks like you're smiling, you're enjoying the moment that you're in. And you said, yeah, I didn't do that before, but my peace, my inner peace and my relationship with God, how can I not enjoy what I'm doing? Just elaborate on that, the maturity of Brian Jenkins over the years.
But absolutely. When I was at Cookman, I was just all about it. I made it all about me. You know what I mean? And just winning, and didn't care about anything else. I got obsessed with the winning phase of it. I didn't take time to enjoy my family. I didn't take time to enjoy the players and the people who supported me and different things like that. But this go around, building my relationship with God, who's helped restore me as a person, as a man, it's just a tremendous feeling. And that way, I said, if I got this next chance, if God blessed me with this opportunity, I was going to really take time to enjoy it. And that's what I'm doing, and I've learned the balance between enjoying it with family, enjoying it with the players, enjoying it with the coaches, and still being able to be the hammer and nail guy, So it is. My inner peace is so great right now because God has been so good. He's proved himself to me, and he continuously shows himself to me daily. And I'm just very thankful and humble that he shows me the grace that he shows me. And man, I tell you what, I'm really enjoying myself. And I think when people look at it, they see a different Brian Jenkins. They still see the hard taskmaster when it comes to wanting to win, but they see me smiling a little bit more, seeing me enjoying people, laughing a little bit more. And like I said, that's what life is about. And I've just learned that to where before I just didn't take the time out to do it. I thought it would distract me. I had that foolish thought. I thought it would distract me, but this go round, man, I'm really enjoying it. I'm having so much fun, and I got a great staff that we laugh every day. We do devotion every day. We uplift each other every day as men and as coaches, and just to be around this group of men and be in this atmosphere. The administration is so good. Dr. Faison is very pleasing. So it's just a really enjoyable experience that I'm having right now.
Yeah, I got to say, you got a great administration around you, from Dr. Faison down to Ashley Connor. Great people to work with, as being a part of Reverend Holmes Volin told me that I was helping him on the committee. So I got to work firsthand with those people, and Dr. Linda Grooms, who was the chair of the committee. The whole committee did a great job, but it starts with the leadership of Reverend Holmes with the vision, Dr. Faison giving the green light on it to make it happen, and started out with Dr. Rich, but Ashley picked the baton up and kept that going, so that we got the result of an amazing Unity Classic, the inaugural, and things are already looking up. Sponsors are lining up for next year. Because of the great showing, and that was revealed to us somewhat in the luncheon that we've started something here that could be very special. So, Coach, I really, really want to thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you got to prepare, relax, and all that good stuff. And I will be in Daytona this weekend, on roaming the sidelines, being heckled by all the Wildcats. Every time I show up, they give me my pass and everything. But boy, walking that sideline is tough for me, man. But look forward to seeing you Saturday. Looking forward to Edward Waters playing a good game, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, man. I look forward to seeing you. I appreciate you taking interest and bringing me on once again. Once again, you do a first-class job, not only for me, but for all HBCUs. So very appreciative of it, and I'll see you Saturday, man.
All right. He is Brian Jenkins, the head coach of Edward Waters University, the surging Edward Waters University Tigers. For the first time in school history, the team is 3-0. Let's see what the future holds this Saturday. And, of course, we'll bring you to action first rate from Municipal Stadium in Daytona Beach, Florida. For HBCU Game Day, I'm Vaughn Wilson.